All right, welcome to another edition of Swim Easy Speed. So today, what we're going to do is I'm gonna jump on the Chat GPT hype, and I asked Chat GPT to write a workout for an Ironman, training an athlete training for an Ironman, and I'm going to take everybody through the workout and what works well about it, what doesn't, and then get into a larger talk about coaching in general. So we're just going to go through the first part. I'm going to stop it probably after it spits out the work at the warm up. Okay, so here's the warm up. So 10 minutes of the easy swimming freestyle to get the body warmed up. 4x50s, 2 freestyle, 2 backstroke, which is actually kind of interesting, with 15 seconds rest between each 50 meter. So I guess it looks like I'm assuming that it is writing this for a long course meters pool, so a 50 meter pool. So the 10 minutes of easy swimming is interesting, and then you figure the 450s is going to be about with 15 seconds rest between each 50. You throw in freestyle and backstroke. You're looking at probably for a faster swimmer, you might be there 15 minutes of total swimming. Now, look, for a warm up, that's actually pretty good. That's really good advice in terms of how long the duration of the warm up should be. And the reason that is I've done some work now with a wearable EEG, so an electroencephalograph. And, what I found with a variety of athletes now is that when they're wearing it is, and this is on, it doesn't work in swimming, this is on athletes kind of running or cycling, is that it takes about 15 to 20 minutes for the body and brain to get synced up with one another. Now, you can do some things to kind of try to accelerate it a little bit, but if the brain and body aren't ready, they're not ready. And it kind of kicks it out. So, it's a pretty hard and fast number. It's about 15 minutes minimum. And, so this is, pretty good advice. 15 minutes. Now, what I would probably do a little bit differently is this wouldn't be just 10 minutes of swimming easy freestyle. I'd kind of break it up into maybe like a 400 swim with fins, then a 400 kick with fins, and then a 400 pull. And if we're talking about, and this actually is applicable for swimmers or triathletes. And the reason you'd want to start with that is, remember, the warm-up is all about setting you up for the best possible main set. And, you need the time. You need that kind of 15 minutes of moving. You need that time for the brain and body to sync up, just to get all the kinks out. Now, what the breaking it up into different components like that gives the brain some variety, lets it engage a little bit more. The fins are great because they put you in the best possible body position right away. You can get long on the water, give you a little bit extra speed that'll lift you up. If you want to work on your stroke, you've got the speed to kind of do it. If you've been putting in a lot of time in the water, it'll take a little bit of pressure off your shoulders at the start. And then with the fins on the kick, it helps with if you've got pretty stiff ankles, if you're a triathlete, big running background, it'll help with trying to kind of loosen up your ankles a little bit, give you a little bit more flexibility. Now, this is what I think is interesting. You don't see advocating backstroke or anything different than freestyle for a lot of triathletes. Now, it's something that I've thought about a lot. You run into some problems if you're coaching a team of triathletes who don't have any experience in backstroke, and you want to kind of avoid a demolition derby. So we don't typically do much backstroke. But the great thing about backstroke in this case would be, if you're always doing freestyle, there's going to be a tendency for the chest to get a little bit more concave. So all the musculature is going to orient to kind of where you're hunched a little bit in the back. So if you start doing a little bit of backstroke, you're going to do it exactly the opposite. So it's going to open up that chest a little bit more and get you a little bit more balanced. Now, that's also something that you can deal with in the weight room. So, but yeah, it is interesting that it brought this up. Now, what I would probably do differently is I would add, instead of kind of this set right here, this set, I'd get rid of that set. And I'd probably do something more along the lines of 4 by 100, and we descend 1 to 3. So each one would get faster, and you'd be on an interval. So it'd be the beginning of kind of doing an interval set. And that's just to kind of, when I say descend, it's each one gets a little bit faster. So think first one is 70% effort, then 80, then 85%, then 90 plus. And the reason you want to do that is you want to really get kind of work on a lot of precision of pace with your swimming. And that's the best way to do it, or one of the ways to do it. Okay, so here's the main set. And so, the one thing that we see here in this main set is, so it's 8 200s, 20 seconds rest between each 200, 4 400s at a moderate pace with 30 seconds rest, and then 2 800s freestyle at steady pace with 45 seconds rest between each 800. So what this looks like is we've got 1600, 1600, 1600. So right there, we're up to 4,800. And I get it. It's 4,800. It's more than the swim you're going to do if you're training for an Ironman for 3,800. My contention here would be that most athletes, and this even would go at the pro level, and this would even be a lot of swimmers. So you'll see a lot of distance swimmers there's a lot of coaches that wouldn't give that part of the set. They wouldn't do 2 800s. There are a lot that would. I think it's starting to change a little bit, where there's a recognition that if you want to maintain technique and if you want to be focused, you've got to be going at a fairly kind of you got to be going at the pace you want to go in the race. And if you're just kind of thinking here that, oh, hey, I'm going to build my aerobic base, I'm going to build aerobic capacity. That's great, but you're going to make a bigger impact with developing better technique and while you build kind of that aerobic capacity. And that happens at shorter, faster repeats. So, for the most part, I probably most of the time with most triathletes don't go beyond about a 200. In terms of the repeat, we'll occasionally do 400s, but it's mostly with fins and paddles on to try and get some overspeed, and it'll be a build type of set. The other issue here is, here's 20 seconds rest, 30 seconds rest, 45 seconds rest. Here's one thing. You can go then 8 200s, and they could be, you could go 3 minutes on the first one and get 20 seconds rest. You could go 4 minutes on the 7th one and 8th one and still get 20 seconds rest. So there's no real constraint then in place that dictates your pace. It's just steady pace. So you could be getting less rest, or you could be getting kind of the same amount of rest, but going at a slower pace. Even if it still feels steady, but your technique is going to be monumentally different between holding 3 minutes and 4 minutes for a 200. And then the same goes for the rest of these as well. And then it looks like 5 minutes to 10 minutes of easy swimming at the end, and the whole set is, I think they had it at 5,200, which doesn't really add up, but and it says, note, this is an example of a swim workout for an Ironman athlete. It's important to customize the workout based on the athlete's fitness levels, goals, and overall training plan. Let's see what the remainder of it says. Also, I don't know I think that got cut off. So that would be kind of the most important part is this: customize the workout based on the athlete's fitness level, goals, and overall training plan. You know, I hear a lot of people kind of will talk about, you know, I'm self-coaching, and I'm going to tell you right now, there's no such thing as self-coaching. You're either coached or you're not. You can train yourself, sure, but the most valuable thing that an experienced, qualified coach will give you is an objective, qualified point of view, feedback on what you're doing, where you're at, that you cannot provide to yourself. That is the most important part that a coach brings to the table. You know, the second thing would be this. You know, look, it spit out a workout 5,200 meters. You know, there's a famous quote: "Any monkey can write a workout to make another monkey tired." And just because you're tired doesn't mean you're really making any gains. You know, this is one workout. When do you give this workout? When is the appropriate time to give this workout? When is it not appropriate to give this workout? Those are some of the things that, you know, at this point, Chat GPT can't do, or at least I don't know if it can do. But it would require a lot more data and input than Chat GPT is able to take at this point. So that would be, you know, some of the limitations of where this program is. Now, look, this workout, in all honesty, is a lot better than some of the workouts I have seen actual coaches in triathlon write for swimming. So it's definitely kind of a step in the right direction. But yeah, there's still a long ways to go. So I hope you kind of enjoyed this little analysis of the Chat GPT workout. And yeah, if you have any questions, just feel free to comment. Let me know, and I'm always happy to answer questions or comments or anything like that. So thanks again for tuning in.